what you wanna be for Halloween. A ghost or a goblin or the fairy queen. A superhero, red and blue. A monkey or a mouse, it's up to you. Go, go, go.
Hello, Brian.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time with us today, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you're a very busy man, but yeah, it's a very good time to be here.
Yeah.
I saw the video clip in which you disguise into like
a zombie.
A zombie. Just get the hell out of them.
Yeah, I really do.
I was very impressed. And are you an expert in disguise?
Well, I don't know if I'm an expert, but you know, ever since I was a child, I really got into Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
So I've just kind of gone all out. You know, each year gets better and better. I plan right after this Halloween, I begin planning my next costume in my mind.
I know that the masquerade is just one of the exciting activities during the Halloween. So what else do you have, like the main activities?
Well, you know, when you're Halloween for children, you know, there's trick-or-treating. They like to go outside. The tradition was many years ago, I think like 1940s, 1950s, something like that, that they would go out and you would ask trick-or-treat. Yeah. And that really stood true. You know, either got a trick or, excuse me, a treat, or you would trick somebody and do something, right?
I'm a monster. I'm a little monster. Knock, trick or treat. Who are you? I'm a monster.
That's not so much the case anymore. Right now, people go around, they get candies. Some of the schools will have little events for different parties. Sometimes people have parties at their houses. But most of the festivities is just doing all you can in your costume and going out at night.
So, yeah.
Get as much candy as you can.
Yeah, trick or treat. Like I remember, like the kids will walk around in the neighborhood. They're gonna bring with them the jack-o'-lanterns. Right?
Yep. Some have jack-o'-lanterns. I used to go out with a pillowcase. Goes bigger.
But what is the origin of a jack-o'-lantern? Does that have anything to do with the ghost named Jack?
Well, you know, the jack-o'-lantern, there was a cartoon, Legend of Sleepy Hollow, I think it was. It was the Headless Horseman, and he had a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin for a head. But I know Halloween began, you can trace it back to about 2,000 years ago, to the pre-Christian times, pagan times. And basically it signified the end of the summer or end of the harvest season, right? And on the end day, or after All Saints' Day, the people believed that the dead would come walking among the alive, right? You know, come one day and they come walking among us. And so the people were, they weren't too easy about that, right? Because they were quite superstitious, I guess you would say. So they would dress up in costume, so that way they could disguise themselves from the ghosts, the spirits. Yeah. So that, you know, the spirits wouldn't know if they were alive or dead. And that's kind of where it began. So that's now through commercialism and people like myself, you know, just doing bigger and bigger and better every year, you know, Halloween now is more, it's far from its origins and more an event of just having a good time.
Yeah, just for fun.
You know, people were extremely superstitious, you know, 2,000 years ago, not like today where we kind of question everything with the internet and all. Traditionally, too, usually people go to a pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin patch.
Yeah. So we like to carve pumpkins. Vietnam, sadly, we don't have the big orange pumpkins. Yeah, we have the short little flat green ones, you know, and yeah, they taste the same, it's all good, but they're not as easy and fun to carve. But as a child, you'd get your family and you'd go out like to the pumpkin patch, and you know, there's pumpkin pumpkins all over the ground, and you get to kind of pick them up and see which one you want and then take it home. And we carve them up into different things. Some people are quite creative. I was never really good at pumpkin carving like I am in doing costume and scaring people, but it was fun. You know, they have contests, and some people do it really, really well.
But like, you guys don't eat a pumpkin, right? Don't eat that pumpkin?
So we don't really eat the pumpkin, and that's typically because people will buy a pumpkin maybe a week, 2 weeks. You know, the weather back home in America is quite cool in October, so you can carve a pumpkin, put it outside on your doorstep, and leave it out every night, and it'll actually last, you know, about a month if you're lucky, you know, depending on the weather. So you're not going to eat it. It actually goes to waste. But the seeds, however, we'll take them out sometimes, and you'll bake them, and they're really delicious to eat.
I have tried that before.
Seeds, yeah, they're fantastic.
I was in America for 2 weeks ago, and I saw a lot of pumpkin stores and people keep walking around.
Yeah. For those who can't get to a pumpkin patch, they'll go to the grocery stores, and they have these big, you know, boxes full of pumpkins, and yeah, you get to pick which one you want. They're all different shapes and sizes, you know.
And it's like here in Vietnam, we don't see house. They decorate the house during the Halloween, but like a lot of people do that in America, right?
Yeah, you know, like I said, it's become so commercialized, and everyone's trying to do, I guess, better than the next person. So, you know, kids come to your house. It's actually fun, especially with the internet now. People have been more exposed as to different scare tactics or things that people have done, you know. And they watch the reactions online and think, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I want to do that. So every year, I think it just gets a little bit more, especially with the influence of the internet.
I saw a lot of people, they decorate their house, the front yard, and try to scare people, walk around.
Tombstones, coffins, pumpkins, yeah, you name it. You know, they have something, you know, like a dummy hanging, and yeah, it's
That's very scary.
But yeah.
I was living in a house like up in a hill, and it was, that whole place is kind of empty. I hardly ever see people walking around, and you know, the landlord, she decorated her house with like some zombies, like just some pieces of body parts. Yeah, body parts, bones. Very scary. And it's like in America, like do the adults, they hang out at night?
Well, you know, it's changed a lot. I mean, I remember when I was a child, you know, it seemed like it was quite family-oriented, and I think it still is for people who have, you know, young children. But the older you get, you start hanging out with your friends, you're not hanging out with your parents anymore, and then it becomes more elaborate costumes, more of a social party, a great time to go out. You know, in San Francisco, where I'm from, in the Castro, they would have a Halloween party where like 1 million people would come out.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we're talking some amazing costumes. One year I went out as an FBI agent, and I actually had like a real vest from the FBI. Oh, yeah. And it was really funny because my shirt said FBI, and underneath it in small letters it said Federal Bureau of Intoxication, which means you drank too much, right? not Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, of course.
And I was walking on the street one night, you know, there's like 1 million people, and I don't remember the question I asked, but there was a police officer there, and I asked the question something like, you know, what time's the festivities over tonight, or something like that. And the officer kind of looks at me, and he gets on his radio, and he says, I got an agent here that wants to know when this is over, and I'm just sitting there, all my friends are like, what the heck? Like, and the guy tells me, we walk away, and the police officer thought I was a real FBI agent, which was just really funny. We got a really good laugh out of that. But people do some amazing costumes. When I was a kid in grade school, my mom used to work for the city of Camas, where we lived, and so my grandmother was in the police department. My mom was working for the mayor, and I actually knew a lot of the police officers, so I actually got to go into the police station and get a full-on police uniform. And so I went to school with that on, and that was quite funny. I got a lot of reaction from students. They didn't recognize me. I thought, oh my gosh, the police are here, you know. So it's just a day of fun. Yeah.
So yeah, Halloween is just a day of fun. Yeah. It is. And the thing you eat is candy.
Yeah. Well, you know, there still are witches out there. The Wiccans, they're called Wiccans. They started like 2,000 years ago, something like that. You know, back in the day, witches were always crucified, so to speak, or they were imprisoned. Some were women, some were men, some were children. About over the course of time, about 100,000 or 200,000 have been incarcerated, and over half of them have been executed because they've been accused of witchery, right, witchcraft. But witchcraft still is out there. It's called Wiccans, and there's like 400,000 people in America that belong to that.
Really?
I don't know if you would call it a cult or that organization.
Oh, yeah.
And they actually have to take an oath to make sure that they don't use their magic for anything bad.
Oh, yeah.
But they, you know, you wouldn't know. I mean, you wouldn't know who's a Wiccan by just looking at them. They don't have green skin. They're not wearing a pointed hat. But they're still out there.
Still out there?
Yeah, yeah, there's still witches out there today.
Have you ever met one?
I don't know. But, you know, black magic and voodoo and all that, that still exists. And it's a form of being a witch.
So Brian, besides trick-or-treating, like, are there any other activities during Halloween, like apple eating? Yeah,
well, there's a tradition that you would do is you have a big bowl of water, right, and you put apples in it. It's called bobbing for apples. Yeah. And basically it's hands-free, and you put your face down in the water and you try to pick up an apple. You know, that's kind of the one fun activities I remember when I was a child.
Guided by a beating heart.
You know, we did pin the tail on the donkey, just, you know, children games, different things. Yeah, I mean, I remember going to my primary school every year, and they would do like a cakewalk. So the parents would bake a cake, the kid would bring it in, and it was like doing musical chairs, and the winner would win like a cake or something.
Oh,
and there's a lot of just little fun things to do.
How long have you been here in Vietnam?
10 years now.
10 years? Yeah. Have you ever been in like a Halloween celebrations?
Oh yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, I had a haunted house. About 1,000 people came.
1,000 people.
Please shut it down because it was so big. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Every year I do costume and I go out on the streets. Usually around 5, 6 o'clock at night every Halloween, all the neighbor kids start banging on my house door. You know, where are you? Where are you? Come out.
They're gonna do the same, like trick or treat.
Yeah, but they're not really trick or treating. They just want to see me because they love watching me scare people. So they just start banging on the door like, it's dark. Where are you? It's Halloween.
So you can come in and scare them.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I know that during Christmas you guys eat turkey, and for Halloween, is there any special dish?
Candy.
Candy. That's what I was thinking. Candy, yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever remember eating a special dish for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
It was mostly just eat dinner and get your costume on as fast as you could, so that way you could get out and get candy.
Okay, yeah, no, that's just candy.
Yeah.
So you have a restaurant, right? I heard.
Yeah, Cheeky Cafe.
Cheeky Cafe, yeah. And what do you serve there?
Well, we do a unique beer can smoked chicken, which is it's actually quite decadent.
Beer can smoked chicken.
Yeah. You take a beer can. Of course, you have your spices and whatnot. You put the beer can inside the chicken. You actually smoke it standing. It's great, and we offer some Mexican foods, and we run specials on different items. So yeah. You
know what? When I first walked in here, it's just like a factory here. What have you been working in?
Well, I venture into a couple of businesses, along with the restaurant with my partner Des Snowden. I also have a woodworking business, so I do a lot of different things. Here's some of the stuff that I work on and sell. I also have some larger items that I make. And also, I share a business in canvas printing.
Canvas?
Yeah, so printing anything on canvas. So I've got a library of about 20,000 images, high-def images that I can access.
Yeah, a lot of job to do.
Yeah, I'm always busy.
Yeah, man, thank you very much for your time with us today. And you're a very busy man with a lot of things to do, but yeah. So that's very interesting.
You're welcome.
Story about Halloween you were sharing. Thank you very much for your time, Brian.
You're very welcome.
And I hope your business is doing well.
Thank you.
Thank you.